Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive in and fix some of the most common English pronunciation hurdles for native Arabic speakers. And trust me, it's way simpler than you might think. So, let's get right into it.
So, does this sound at all familiar? You mean to say very nice, but what comes out sounds a little more like very nice. It's an incredibly common mix-up, so if that's you, you are definitely not alone. It's one of those classic little tells that we are going to smooth out today. So, in this explainer, we are going to unlock just four, specific English sounds that can be a real trip-up for Arabic speakers. By the end of this, you are going to have a super clear, practical roadmap to make your English sound that much sharper. Okay, let's start by looking at these four sounds and, more importantly, uncover the one simple reason why they can be so tough to get right. And this is absolutely crucial to remember. This challenge has nothing to do with your ability to learn a language. It's not you. It's just a technical mismatch between the sound systems of Arabic and English. Think of it this way. Your mouth is just used to playing by a different set of rules. We're just going to learn the new ones. First up on the list, the classic P versus B. The secret to telling these two apart is all about a tiny little puff of air. So here's the deal. Arabic has a fantastic, strong B sound, but that English P sound, it just isn't really there in the same way. And that's exactly why a word like Perry can so easily slip out sounding like berry, which, can cause a little confusion. But what's really amazing is just how simple the difference is when you break it down. For both sounds, your lips start in the exact same position, together. But for B, your voice is on. You should feel a vibration. For P, your voice is completely off. It's just a whisper followed by a really strong puff of air. So come on, let's actually try it. Press your lips together nice and firm. Now, no voice at all. Just release a sudden, strong burst of air as you open them. Puh, puh. That's it. That's the sound we're looking for. And here is the ultimate test that makes it completely obvious. Try this with me right now. Put your hand in front of your mouth and say, pie. Feel that? That little explosion of air on your palm? Now say, bye. Nothing, right? No puff at all. That's the difference you can literally feel. Awesome. Okay, let's move on to our next pair, V versus F. This time, we're going to forget about the puff, and instead, we're going to focus on creating a buzz. And just look at how similar these two are. For both sounds, your top teeth are just resting on your bottom lip. The only, and I mean the only, difference is your voice. For the fuss sound, it's just air. But for the vus sound, you turn on your vocal cords and you create a little buzzing feeling. So, to nail that V sound, just gently place your top teeth on your bottom lip. Now hum. Turn that voice on. You should feel a little vibration, a buzz right there on your lip. That is the sound. The real key here is just building that muscle memory. Let's try a few words together and really focus on feeling that buzz. Okay, let's say 5, very, level, flavor, vine. See? Feel that vibration on your lip every single time.
All right, you ready? Let's tackle the big one, the sound that challenges English learners from all over the globe, the infamous TH sound.
So really, if you struggle with this one, you are in very good company. It's a tough one. And even though some Arabic dialects have similar sounds, they often get replaced with something easier, like an S, a T, or even a Z or D. So saying 3 as tree or this as dis, that's a super common habit we're going to break. So what is the secret? Well, it's actually just one simple, non-negotiable rule. For the TH sound, your tongue absolutely must go between your teeth. It might feel a little weird or even exaggerated at first, but I promise you, this is the key. And just like with V and F, there are actually two versions of the TH. But the tongue placement, it's identical for both, right between the teeth. The only difference is, for the TH in think, you just blow air. Your voice is off. For the TH in this, you turn your voice on and you make it buzz. Oh, this is such a great tip. Seriously, go grab a mirror or even use your phone and say thank you or this. You should physically be able to see the tip of your tongue peeking out. If you can't see it, you're probably making a T or a S sound instead. The mirror doesn't lie. Okay, we are on to our final section. Let's talk about refining two sounds that sometimes get tangled up. your R and your L. So just look at the massive physical difference here. The Arabic R is often that beautiful trill or tap, where your tongue actually hits the roof of your mouth. But the English R? It's pretty much the exact opposite. The tongue curls back, but the tip never, ever taps the roof of your mouth.
This one is actually kind of fun. To find that weird English R position, just try doing a little pirate growl. Go on. R. Feel that? Feel how the back of your tongue bunches up and pulls back without tapping anything? That's the feeling you want to bring to words like red and arrive. And as for the L sound, the main goal for right now is just making sure it stays distinct from your R. As long as a word like light sounds totally different from right, you are absolutely on the right track. If you perfect that English R, your L will naturally stand out more. And that's really it, just 4 areas. The puff for P, the buzz for V, the tongue between the teeth for TH, and that non-tapping R. I'm telling you, focusing on just these 4 sound pairs is going to absolutely transform the clarity and the flow of your English. So there you have it. The roadmap is right here in front of you. You literally have the keys to unlock a clearer, more confident sound. So the only question left is, which one are you going to start practicing first?